a lot of these program multiples and victims of SRAs have been programmed and designed for astral projection.
The Antichrist can do nothing without that. They have to have the soldiers to bring the chaos all the way to Armageddon, to fight, to engage, to release curses.
You believe now they're going to be making the move at any time. In other words, the stage is set.
You know, Russ, as you know, he was a warrior, but not just a warrior. He was a warrior against the dark side. He fought the battles that a lot of people, well, quite frankly, most pastors would run from or not even acknowledge. But I want to deal with the issue of what people are saying about the passing of Russ Dizdar. You know, everything from car wreck to being poisoned, murdered, even kidnapped. I'm interested in the truth. I want to know what happened. Now, for the sake of the family, there's certain things I will not say, but because you and I have known Russ for such a long time, if you've listened to this channel, and many of you have known him personally, some know his works from his channel, but you know that we have come to grow and to love the life and the ministry of Russ Dizdar. Now, I didn't realize that one of the last interviews I would do on Russ would play a key element to me understanding possibly how Russ could have left this dimension. Not sensationalism, but asking God to give us some understanding of what's going on. And I want you to leave your mind open, and I want you to know that this is a spiritual battle. When I listened to one of the last interviews I did with Russ, I had to listen very closely, and I'm going to share that with you tonight. And I think it's very important for us to listen to. Listen to the passion in his voice. Listen to the words that he says. What are we speaking on? One of the most passionate things I saw Russ ever speak on in any of my interviews, and I did many with him, was the topic of astral projection. Yeah, astral projection. The act of one leaving one's body. I listened to it one night, well, several nights right after the passing. I want you to listen to the first part of this video, and then I'm going to bring on a very close friend of Russ, and we're going to talk about what really happened right before his passing. Let's watch this video. Russ, we've been talking about astral projection, leaving your body, okay? There's tens of millions, you said, practicing it all over the world, okay? You mentioned the military, that they've been practicing it for a long time. What does astral projection have to do with the end times of persecution of Christians? Or does it? And if it does, how does it fit in?
Well, I think that, again, the counterfeit. The other side has counterfeit. Now, I'll take this to, and I asked somebody last night, have you ever heard a sermon on the troops of Antichrist? The largest, strongest, most powerful, most equipped military is being built in the shadows right now. The scripture shows that it'll become the biggest force when the new age, the new world order stuff comes, the Luciferian order.
Right.
The Antichrist can do nothing without that. They have to have the soldiers to bring the chaos all the way to Armageddon, Revelation 19:19. The Antichrist is out there, kings of the earth, and the armies, plural, globally, millions upon millions. Wow. Now, here's what it teaches about it. They're going to be the most supernaturally enhanced.
Right.
So when we talk about astral projection, you cannot do that without being supernaturally enhanced.
Right.
So when we look at 100 million satanic ritually abused worldwide, all stemming from the Nazi agenda of a master race, of augmented or hybrid individuals, they're all trained to do astral projection, let alone other powers they've been given.
Oh, wow.
to fight, to engage, to release curses, to invade hearts and minds, to search out Christians, to bring them, to find them, to remote them and bring them down.
You know, you and I have done many shows on program multiples, SRAs. Are you telling me that a lot of these program multiples and victims of SRAs have been programmed and designed for astral projection? So when this comes about,
Absolutely.
that's part of their job?
Absolutely. And I told one story and I think I answered the story at one military story. A Fort Bragg Psi warrior. We engaged for 7 years. We heard about this back in the 90s. I knew about it already. I mean,
Right.
we engaged on the occult side. When I got saved, I renounced all things. You know, there was just a complete cleansing out of all those things, burning all the occult stuff. So I left that world and the fullness of power and of the Spirit of God. So we have a Psi warrior. They would call themselves a satanic chosen one, a real soldier. Now all SRAs,
Okay.
when you really get down inside to programmed cult loyal personalities,
Okay.
they will all acknowledge we're here to bring in the chaos. We're here to serve the Antichrist.
Wow.
Even in England, when I met the top guy just a few months ago, the
Right.
top guy working with SRA,
Right.
first question I said, why are they here? Immediately, and I've never met this man in my life, immediately, they're here to bring England down. They're here to bring in a new order and help the Antichrist.
Wow.
So,
And this is recently.
this is just a few months ago when I went to Scotland.
So you believe now they're going to be making the move at any time? In other words, the stage is set.
Sure.
Stage is set. You know,
Yeah.
before you and I really started interviewing, getting into all this, you know, you think about persecution of Christians and end times, but very few people think about astral projection, how they project their spirits
Sure.
out of their body.
Sure.
And there's a war like that.
There's a war like that.
Okay, so my question is, when they do project themselves out of the body, because you talk about program multiples being programmed for that, they project themselves out of their body, and how can that come against a true believer?
Sure. The first experience I had was way in the 90s as the Psi warrior from Fort Bragg, highly trained, high level program, multiple, all that kind of stuff. Most powerful one I've ever met.
We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about what the point is and what I believe is worth talking about. Folks, we cannot, when a great warrior goes home, the book is not closed. As a matter of fact, the book opens even further. And I'm going to be the one, if I may be so humble, to keep that book open. We're talking about the book that Russ opened, which is the book of truth when it comes to demonic activity, to demonic warfare. With me is my special guest, who is a good friend of Russ, with him boots on the ground, shared in his ministry, Mr. Tom Dunn. Tom, you there with me, buddy?
Yeah, I'm here. Thanks for having me, David.
Thanks for coming on, and I appreciate you coming on and sharing this time with me. Tom, you were very good friends with Russ. I know you were for a lot of years, and you shared in his ministry, vice versa. Tell me about your time with Russ before the passing. I don't want to get into his death right away, right now. I want to know, was there anything going on leading up to it? Was everything just hunky-dory? Was life as usual? I mean, can you share something with us?
Well, David, I just want to mention that, wow, that footage, seeing my friend there is, it's, man, I love that guy. Yeah, life was normal for Russ. What that means is Russ was actively investigating and exposing occult covens, Satanists, and actively praying for them, praying against them, and praying for protection for him and his family. So yeah, you could say life was normal for him. He was engaging the type of people that Hollywood makes movies out of, and they make millions of dollars, off of this. Why do they do it? Why do people watch these movies? Because they like the thrill. They like, watching somebody, on the screen that is a bad guy or Satanist, or a mafia type, or a mixture of the two. So that's what Russ did. And it's not a secret, and Russ has talked about this, that there was definitely a hit put out on his life in the past few months, and he revealed this on the Hagman show.
A hit, when you say, Tom, a hit, you mean a hitman, someone that's going to kill
Yes.
him?
Yeah, yeah.
And how do you know this, or how did he know this, or what transpired?
Well, without giving too much information about an open case, and he was there, and one of his team members were there, and somebody confessed this, and they showed them, according to the interview there on the Hagman report, Russ and this team member saw the money that was paid to be used. Of course, Russ is constantly just engaging people, what we call SRA, standing for satanic ritually abused. Okay. These people were grew up in a generational satanic family. They were involved in the military. They were programmed. Many of them, just depending on the training, they have many different jobs. One of them could be assassination. One of them could be a runner. One of them could be some kind of a spy, and so on and so forth. You think of somebody like a Navy SEAL or a Green Beret. Think of somebody like that being used for the dark side.
Right. And this shooter, this hitman, I did a lot of videos with Russ on Program Multiples. Chances are one of his personalities, Program Multiple, one of his personalities was that of an assassin, of a hitman. And so, Tom, I shared this with you, that Russ called me a while back and said, David, because he knows I bring my kids with me, because I have them in the ministry. We were going to come up and do some boots on the ground with them, do some filming and so forth. He said, David, things are not that great right now. There's some things going on. I'm paraphrasing, okay? I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he led me to believe that things were not normal, okay? And since then, I've been praying for him. And I came to you. We did a conference together called Take on the World. And I came to you and I said, Tom, is Russ okay? Because in my spirit, I was feeling things were not okay. I'm talking in the spirit realm, okay? And I can't remember exactly what you said to me, but now we kind of know that things were not okay. And my question to you, as it got closer to his passing, did you realize things were not okay? Did anything happen at all?
Well, let me say this, David. I saw Russ a week and a half ago, and he was sick. And then it was just a half a week after that he passed. We know, as people that were close with Russ, Russ called me, conversations, a lot of information that I can't divulge, but there was always danger, that was just a given. I've been out with Russ many, many times, and I've been out with him in the last few months. So there was always danger. And this man has put himself in harm's way many, many times. And he did it in order to present the gospel and to expose the enemy.
There's a practice, an ancient practice, where one's spirit leaves their body. It's called astral projection. Okay, so dreams. Could this be a form of astral projection?
I can tell you that practitioners on the other side and ex-Satanists will tell you what I'm going to say.
Okay.
We target your dreams.
A woman woke up. She felt the presence of something in the doorway that was trying to pull her out of her flesh. And what she did was call out to the name of Jesus, and bang, that attack stopped. She went back into her body. She woke up.
The New Agers call it the astral plane. It's sort of like a parallel dimension.
A lot of times people experience things like sleep paralysis.
It's real but lethal, real but counterfeit, real but completely in error.
There's a risk of insanity.
God is totally against it. If the church was doing its job, would New Age and astral projection be so prevalent amongst Christians?
In these last days, people will worship false gods. As the Antichrist arises, Christians will be persecuted. David Heavener Investigates is proud to bring you End Times Investigations, a new DVD series containing over 8 hours of interviews, commentaries, and teaching on Illuminati and the New World Order, Satanism, miracles and healings, the Antichrist, and one world religion.
Hi, I'm David Heavener, and I'm proud to bring you this brand new DVD collection, End Times Investigations.
David reveals how the media is working hand in hand with the Antichrist system. Order now and receive this special DVD collection. Text bonus to 41444 or davidheavener.tv/order. Call toll free 844-806-0006. Text bonus to 41444 or davidheavener.tv/order. Call toll free 844-806-0006.